What is Cheerwine? Spoiler alert, it's not wine. You may have heard the name, been wondering what it is. It's a soda, and a cherry flavored soda at that. So the nice thing, or the interesting thing about Cheerwine is that its family lineage has stayed the same.
Okay.
It's stayed in the family ever since 1917.
Now I'm from South Carolina, so I've had this. I've known about it all my life because they would, serve it in restaurants and everything.
So I did some research on it. I didn't do a deep dive on it, but did a little bit. So the soda was founded in 1917 by L.D. Peeler in Salisbury, North Carolina. Salisbury steak. I don't know if it's from there. Educated guess, I would say. Maybe.
Probably not. I don't know.
But I don't know. Probably not.
Maybe we're right. Maybe
Probably not even from the U.S. But
if we're right, tell us that. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably is from England, but something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyways, it was created in 1917 by L.D. Peeler. He really wanted to have a soft drink business, and there was a sugar shortage that was happening in the early 1900s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. But so the more you know, right? Knowledge is power. Anyways, sugar shortage, early 1900s. He wanted to make a soft drink that did not have very much sugar in it because of the shortage.
Yep.
He ran across a businessman from St. Louis that had a flavor of wild cherry.
Okay.
He bought that flavor, the rights to that flavor from that businessman, and then he created Cheerwine. And in fact, the name Cheerwine is kind of a play on the ingredient, which is wild cherry.
Yep.
But then also part of the marketing behind it was that you drink Cheerwine, it makes you cheery.
Now that's way more than I ever knew about it. What I knew about it was this was a North Carolina area cherry soda, kind of in the southeast region. Now I was surprised to find out that you could buy this at Schnucks here, which, as we've covered before, is a St. Louis-based grocery chain.
Right.
And so they have a little section there that you can get some regional stuff. That's where I've gotten Verner's. We've done Verner's. That's something up in Michigan and stuff like that. And Cheerwine. So I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I didn't think it reached this far.
Right.
And in fact, this might be, as far as we've found out, as far west as it goes.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet that if you're in North Carolina and you travel the whole southeast region of the country, all the way to Cape Drum, Missouri, there's a safe bet that you can find Cheerwine somewhere. Like, it's not going to be served in every single restaurant, but you'll probably find a place in that town that you're in or within 30 minutes from a town that you're in that sells Cheerwine.
Yeah, you put in LA's
zip code. It's not out there. Nope.
So Lewis and Clark, traveling across the country, would have found Cheerwine all the way up to
the Mississippi,
Missouri,
basically.
And then they'd be like, all right, well, we're turning around, we're going back till they get the cherry. So anyway, little history from us.
Right.
Accurate history.
Yep, we fact checked it. We used to Google.
Lewis and Clark drink Cheerwine.
Yeah, absolutely. They sure did.
But anyway.
They time traveled and drank it. But I'd say enough of the history lesson. We go ahead and we see, does this have a wild cherry flavor to it? Does it not? Does it maybe seem like Cherry Pepsi and Coke may have copied it? I don't know.
And how much will it differ from, say, Wild Cherry Pepsi, Cherry Coke? Now, Wild Cherry Pepsi, maybe you're on the same page as me, a little sweeter than Cherry Coke.
Right.
And just like with Pepsi being sweeter than Coke.
So the interesting thing is that this is supposed to be made with less sugar in it.
Now, it's got a deep wine red. You see that? So obviously it's Cheerwine.
Yeah. So
maybe that's maybe that played a part in the naming. Yep. I would say it's closer to, then obviously I've had it before, but never really analyzed it. It's closer to Cherry Coke in sweetness than it is Wild Cherry Pepsi, which would make sense given if there's a sugar shortage and he's trying to find a natural sweetener.
But now I don't think Cherry Coke has this red flavored or red tint to it.
Not quite. No, it doesn't.
So
it's just more if you're gonna have a spectrum of the major cherry Cokes, your Wild Cherry Pepsi and Cherry Coke, you're gonna have Cheerwine's right there in the middle somewhere.
It doesn't have that cola It doesn't have much of a cola flavor as
Yep.
what cherry Coke or wild cherry Pepsi has to it.
Yep.
It's more of a straight up cherry, but it's subtle enough to where it's not too sweet to where it's going to feel like it's going to make my belly ache. You know?
Yeah, to me, it's always had a little more of the cherry aroma on your tongue and in your nose when you're drinking it, as opposed, like with Coke and cherry Coke, you have that, it's kind of that sting of,
Right.
it's for lack of a better terminology, the
Yeah.
sting of soda that you're, it's whatever, I don't,
Right.
whatever it is, the carbonation,
Yeah.
that this does not have.
Yeah.
And maybe you like that better, maybe you don't like that. But
Yeah. I do like it.
I'd say it stands out on its own
It does.
without feeling derivative, even though this is obviously from 1917, but
It doesn't taste like anybody was a copycat here. Another thing interesting that we kind of found out was that in Salisbury, North Carolina, they have the Cheerwine Festival.
yep,
Pretty big deal. I'd say a pretty big revenue generator
yep.
for the county there. It's a celebration of Cheerwine.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They got games, memorabilia. You can have different Cheerwine, themed foods.
Yep.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, and it makes sense because if you are from a region and maybe you have one, you can let us know if you've got a soda like that that's real big in where you're at. Because as we've discovered doing this show, Fitz's root beer is big in St. Louis, where it's originated from. They have their own
Right.
restaurants and everything. Obviously, Cheerwine's big in the South, in the Carolinas. Werner's big and up north. Fago's huge with
Yep.
ICP and the Juggalos. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have sort of a locally produced soda or something like that, and it has kind of a following, you can really brand the heck out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll get a lot of loyalty in the area. So yeah, I'm not shocked that Cheerwine would have a big, they'd have it at like a local festival or something like
Right.
that. So.
Well,
Let us know if you have a regional soda or something that has a big following in your region. I keep saying region. And then if we can get our hands on it, we'd like to try it.
yeah, definitely. We're always down to try something new, obviously. Well, as we're, wrapping up this Cheerwine or putting a cork in it. See what I did there?
That's right. Smell the tannins.
So now, would you want to drink this again?
Oh yeah, I've had it. Yeah, I've been holding on to these bottles for a while until we were able to get a chance to try them. But yeah, anytime I'm down south and I go to visit family or something like that, I will stop and if I'm at a restaurant like Cookout in Tennessee or wherever, and I'll get Cheerwine, just because it's there.
Yeah.
You're there. You're in the area. It's there.
Might as well embrace in the culture.
Yeah, that's right. The culture of Cheerwine.
Yeah, I will say I really like it. Like I said, it's not as sweet as like the Pepsi and Coke derivatives, which is what I like.
It's real smooth.
Very smooth.
So imagine a wild cherry Pepsi. This is how I would describe it.
Right.
That goes down much smoother.
Yeah.
Less carbonation.
Yep.
That's the best way to put it. And probably not as sweet though.
Right. No, it's not as sweet. I feel
But
like
it's closer to that than
right.
I'd say cherry Coke.
I think I could drink more of it. I think it would be better on a hot day.
I realized I just contradicted myself earlier. I said it's closer to cherry Coke than cherry Pepsi, but it's like the more I drink it, it's more
Pepsi.
I get that Pepsi. But that would make sense because Pepsi is down south too, and that's actually
bigger thing. It's just lighter tasting.
yeah.
But if you had Cheerwine and you liked it or you didn't like it, let us know in the comments.
That's right. And got anything else you want to add to this?
I think that's pretty much it.
All right, people. Thanks for watching.
And as always, I'm Andrew.
I'm Phil.
And we're out.